So basically, solution to water shortage. So we say that a lot of the time, resource management, this part is very general, meaning it's basically universal point. No matter what measure, you can put these four like points, because water resource management, we say, is it requires a comprehensive design, planning, and then enforcement. We say that at the upper course, different region and province, they build their own dam, and then they trap the water for their own local use, domestic use. So what is the problem with that? So let's say this is the upper course. Let's say I have a dam blocked over here. So discharge further downstream below here would decrease, right? Because I have a dam controlling the discharge. And then province further downstream saying, okay, now we have less discharge, but we need water. So what are they going to do? They're going to build their own dam. So meaning they now have a dam over here as well. They trap water, less water, but they still have a dam. So water going further downstream would be even lower, right? The amount would be even lower because now you have two dams blocking the water at the upper course, right? At the kind of lower section of the upper course, another province saying, okay, now you two build your own dam, I shall build my own dam. And then, so let's say they again build a dam. So even smaller amount of water stored behind. And then what happened to further downstream? They have even less water. Yeah. So they have to build their own dam. So now you have a river with a lot of dam. Then what happened to the middle course and lower course when they don't have the physical terrain? The terrain doesn't allow them to build a dam. Let's say at the lower course is a gentle, flat, very wide V-shaped river channel. You can't really build a dam on top of it. So they basically have no water. So that's why we need a comprehensive water management, meaning we cannot prioritize local water demand at the expense of water resource for other regions. And then depends on enforcement of policy. So it's about education, water pricing, awareness of local people, education, industrialists, whether they are willing to conserve the water or they just don't care, discharge a lot of pollutants and chemical into the river. So because of water pollution, the fresh water cannot be used because it's not safe, not clean. Economic incentive, whether people are incentivized to do something. Like for example, industrialists, if they think that, oh, if I treat the water, I filter it, clean it before discharging to the river, it is going to cost me a lot of money. Then if they don't get subsidy, or so it's usually two-way. Either they have legislation, regulation to enforce people or industrialists to clean the water, treat the water before discharge, or they provide economic incentive. Let's say the government will subsidize industry that discharge toxic chemicals, saying, okay, we will give you subsidy to buy equipment, buy chemical, so please treat your water first. And then they will do that. But if they do it through regulation and enforcement, level of corruption is high. It's cheaper to carry out bribery than to actually clean the water. Hard engineering, we say that we can construct infrastructure to meet the need. So a little bit like coastal landfall, we say that we have hard engineering. Man-made structure, usually expensive, so high cost of maintaining hydrological fix. And then risk of degrade performance over time. So maybe the dam will deform, and then riverbank or like the reservoir will have problems. For example, silting. So the amount of water that can be stored in the reservoir will decrease. So that is also degrade performance. Not just amount of water stored or maybe hydroelectric power plant. The performance will also decrease. So water treatment plants aim to reduce pollution. So when we have less water pollution, more water will be available to use. So we can say large-scale water treatment plants to alleviate water problems, and then station to monitor the raw water quality. Raw water quality means it's untreated. You just For example, you take a beaker and then you go to the river, collect the sample, go back to the laboratory and then analyze it. So no treatment, no chemical added. And then we have limitation, so shortage of sewage network and operational fund, no money. So sewage network means they need to build the pipeline, build the sewage treatment plant, and then lack of operation fund, maybe because government, they rely on budget. So if the budget is spent on doing other things, they have no budget to do infrastructure. For example, sewage treatment facility, roads. So there would be not enough wastewater treatment facility, a lot of water pollution. Okay. And then poor supervision, we say failure to meet the pollution control target. Basically no supervision. Oh, we set a target, but it doesn't matter if we don't meet it. There's no fine, no punishment, no penalty. Who bothers to follow that then? And then wastewater is untreated, directly discharged to water body. That's why we have water pollution.